Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, everyone, depending on where you are in the world. I'm James from DoraHacks, and welcome back to the AEZ Quadratic Grant Round 3 Demo Day number 2. This is the second demo day. We had one yesterday, and there'll be another one tomorrow. And just for a quick update for everyone, Round 3 of the demo day, all the voting methods are live. That's QF and Macy. And so we've now recently selected the 14 grantees that will be part of this round. Round 3. The AEZ Quadratic Grant is supporting the sustainable development of public goods and app chains within the Atom Economic Zone. So we've got two separate prize pools that are both pretty hefty. One is for the quadratic funding, which is 8,000 Atom provided by AADAO, the Atom Accelerator, and anyone can get involved in that. You just head over to dorahacks.io/AEZ, connect your Kepler wallet, and you'll be able to vote for whichever projects you like using Atom, which will be help to rank them, and they'll receive a portion of that 8,000 Atom pool in accordance with their ranking based on your voting. And then we're also happy to say that the Macy voting is also live. So everyone that is an Atom staker on any validator is automatically whitelisted for the Macy round, which has a huge 20,000 USDC from AADAO, the Atom Accelerator, and 11,111 from the Dora Factory Foundation. So that's a total of 31K 111 USDC in the Macy pool. So for any of you that are in the Cosmos ecosystem as Atom stakers, you're automatically whitelisted. So head over to dorahacks.io/AEZ, click on Macy voting. It doesn't cost you anything to vote. The gas fees are all taken care of by the gas station. So you get 50 voice credits and you can vote for the projects that you think are best, and that'll help contribute to the Macy voting process. So today we've got a demo from 3 projects. We've got Warp CLI, CW or Cosmwasm Orchestrator, and the on-chain registry. So without further ado, I will hand over to you guys to do your demos, and then we'll catch up at the end. So Wraith from Warp CLI, do you want to go first?
Sure. All right. In that case, let me get this set up. And yeah, it should be now working. So my project is called Warp. Warp is a tool chain for smart contract development that basically makes it extremely easy to scaffold new projects, manage them, build them, and deploy and test the contracts continuously. My name is David. I am a blockchain developer and a software engineer with experience in backend development and blockchain Web3 technology. So this is just a bunch of links if you'd like to check them out. And what is Warp CLI? Well, Warp CLI kind of relies on this idea. Warp CLI is a replacement for a lot of native chain tooling that a lot of chains provide. As you can see, these commands over here is what it takes on some chains to upload your contracts, store them on chain, or migrate your contracts if you were to do it through the terminal. There's no easy way really on a lot of chains to execute your contracts or migrate them directly from your terminal like you would expect or want to sometimes quickly for prototyping. So it takes a lot of, arguments in the command line, and you can't just get it done quickly. And that's where Warp CLI kind of comes in, because see this command at the very bottom, for example, to execute a transaction, it takes a lot of typing. And this is kind of where Warp comes in, and this is a list of features that Warp provides. So Warp essentially just manages your smart contract workspaces for you and lets you very easily create scripts for deployment. It lets you build your WASM contracts. It provides functionality, chain-specific functionality like node, local development node or test environments, as well as it lets you run WASM commands against the deployed contracts on chain. One of the main principles that have been added to the project recently, and it relies on right now, is the modular architecture of the blockchain abstraction layer, which provides some basic functionality that is then being implemented by each chain separately, so that when the chain logic is very specific, like for example in secret networks case, it can all be handled by the chain-specific plugin. And that way, Warp CLI is aiming to support all sorts of different chains on secret network and provide shared functionality with between the chains. So basically, you have all those chains supporting the same things with the same commands, even if the underlying logic is different. And that is what makes Warp CLI such a useful tool for developing your contracts on one chain and then potentially deploying them even on an entirely different chain without really changing much of anything. It can even be done on a CI/CD pipeline. So this is the Warp CLI repo. It is what you can access from the QR code on the presentation. This is a full description of the project. Here we also have a repo for the local nets, which the project, the Warp CLI tooling, is using underneath to kind of provide local net support for different chains. This specifically is building pipelines for say blockchain and injective blockchain, which are the new integrations that have been added very recently and will be available very soon in the next full build. And here, let's move on to a kind of hands-on demo of a project that takes care or that uses Warp CLI. This is a say-based real-life project of a launchpad. As you can see, we have a few contracts over here, a few smart contracts, and then all of it is managed with this warp.toml file, where all the main settings of the workspace can be defined. So for example, we have all of our deployment targets for a mainnet, or sorry, for the testnet. And then we have some other settings for the node, for the local testing node itself that we can use, as well as the most important part probably, which is a deployment script of all of our contracts. This basically defines how our deployment command works. In this specific case, we have 3 contracts, out of which 2 are being deployed here, and the third one is just being instantiated separately. So as you can see, here we have the minter contract defined with an ID minter that we can use later on to very easily refer to it to access the code itself. We also have in our in our project an integrated testing environment right here. We can see that there's some JavaScript tests written, and we can use Warp very easily here to kind of just run those tests. As you can see, the test suite is running, and essentially this allows us for a very easy coverage of our code without necessarily worrying about complex setups and other such things. So this is one of the features. This is running all the tests on an underlying local, say, validator node, so that this can be run basically anywhere without access to the public network, the public testnet. So yes, as you can see, all the tests are going. Now let's say we're done. So we want to do a build, optimized build of our run time. As you can see, our WASM code is now fully built because the tests went through, the code is ready, everything now is available here. So basically, these are just a few functionalities from the Warp CLI, a tool set that allows you to kind of be more productive with your smart contract code and processes. And that's it from me.
Great. Thank you, Rafe. Thanks for that demo of Warp CLI. And just a note, if anyone wants to check out any of the grantees in more detail, head over to dorahacks.io/AEZ. All the builders are there listed for you to see. You can see demo links, team information, everything else. So if you want more information, go over to that page and check out the grantee list there. There are 14 grantees that have passed into round 3. So check them out and get involved either in QF or Macy or both. If you're an Atom staker, you can actually vote in both. So great. Now we'll hand over to Robin from CosmWasm Orchestrator. Robin, I think you've been with us before, so welcome back.
Hey. Yeah, glad to be back. So my name is Robin. I co-founded Abstract. And Abstract created CW Orchestrator, which is, if you don't know yet, it is a tool that allows you to interact with CosmWasm smart contracts on any chain that supports CosmWasm execution. It is an open source Rust library, and it also features multi-chain orchestration, so you can spin up multiple blockchains locally with something like Starship, or you can create multiple blockchains in a mock environment, much like CW multitest, and then do testing across those different mock blockchains. So you can write tests with CW Orchestrator. You can use it to deploy your smart contracts all in Rust with the same code. You can use it to script interactions, like a bot that needs to execute certain actions periodically. And you can also use it to maintain your smart contracts. So we have some features like snapshot testing that allow you to catch breaking changes in the state when you migrate your contracts, or other migration tools that allow you to just make sure that your migrations happen successfully. So that's a small recap. Today, we wanted to share some updates on CW Orchestrator. So we added support for custom centers, which I will get into later. We also added Union testnet and Landslide testnet, so you can now interact with Union's IBC infrastructure as well, which is really exciting. We are migrating our tool to CosmWasm 2.0, which should be finished today. We will have a release out today. And then we added network config overrides, which I will also go into later. We made sure that CW Orchestrator supports 3+ networks on Starship. So if you want to test something like packet forward middleware, you can now do it with CW Orchestrator. And we also have a CLI that's available that abstracts away all the different chains. So you can just use our CLI to interact with your smart contracts on the different blockchains. On the custom center, so we created one example center, which is a Cosmos batch center. So this Cosmos batch center has a storage of messages, and whenever you execute something, it won't broadcast it until you manually trigger it to broadcast. So this can be used to save a lot of gas. If you need to do a lot of actions on a lot of different smart contracts, you can just accumulate those messages and then periodically send them out for execution. So an example usage of this is this daemon builder that we, this batch daemon builder that we create with a specific network. So this can be like mainnet, testnet, local blockchain, whatever. And you give it the options, and then it will create a batch daemon. Then you create something that we call a contract interface, which represents your contract on this chain. And then we upload it, we instantiate it, we increment it. But if we then look at the count is 0, even though we've already called the increment method. And that's because this increment hasn't actually happened yet. Instead, it is stored in our sender. So it's only when we call the sender, when we get the sender from our chain, and we call broadcast on it, is when it will actually be executed. and the increment will be increased. So this is like one example of what you could do. Other things you can do with these custom centers or that you could implement is AEZ and fee grants. So these are already implemented in the default sender that we ship with a CW orchestrator. So you can easily configure it to use AEZ and fee grant. You can also implement a multi-sig interface for it. You can make it do proposals on DAO instead of executing it directly. You can add two-factor authentication. So whenever you run a very important script, you need to verify that you're actually allowed to run it, for example, and any other pre or post processing that you want before executing or after executing a transaction can be implemented with this functionality. And then for the network overrides, we have had a lot of issues with dead gRPCs, and sometimes we get private endpoints that we can use, but we don't want to include this in our public config. So that is why we added a network override, which is located in the home folder, CW Orchestrator Networks Automl, and there you can provide the chain ID and then override any variables for that chain if you want. So for example, the gRPC URL can be overwritten, so you can put your custom endpoint in there and everything will be smooth. So for the roadmap going forward, we're going to propagate CosmOsm 2.0 to our other packages like clone testing, etc. We also have support for Neutron Test Tube coming up. We have an open PR for RPC support, which is something we've been debating a lot because we currently only support gRPC, and that's not always readily available. We're also implementing some self-relaying of packets. So when you run tests, you actually relay the packets yourself instead of having to rely on a separate relayer. And we're also dabbling in EVM packet tracking because Abstract is working on supporting EVM execution from CosmOsm. And we're open to requests. So if you have any qualms with CosmOsm development, please reach out to us and let us know. So do you enjoy CW Orchestrator? If so, please join our Discord and vote for us. We highly appreciate it. If you're not sure yet, we understand. Go read our docs. Watch the workshop that my colleague did before on this live stream as well. Go to orchestrator.abstract.money and just read into the tool a little bit. I'm sure that it will improve your life. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Robin. And thanks to the CW Orchestrator team. And now we've got Sergey from On-Chain Registry. Are you ready to give your demo, Sergey?
Hi, everyone. I built On-Chain Registry. What is it? 2 years ago, I wrote scripts around DEXs, assets, and channels, and I found that we don't have any one point of truth around assets data. If you have IBC asset and so on, you don't have a point when you can get name, description, and so on around ABC asset in any chain. Now exists chain registry, Cosmos chain registry, and for example, in Objective, we have over 30 assets, but in real, in Injective, 1,600 assets, and it's difficult to get data from other assets, not from this 30. It's 1,600 is difficult to get data around it. And what I built a system which get data from chains. It's get data from REST APIs, aggregated and put to the contracts for using contracts as a Web3 APIs. Also, this will put this data to the GitHub. and you can read it from contract, from LCD in custom contract, or you can read it in our GitHub, and you can see this is edit new asset, daily updated asset list, and we edit new asset here. It's very cool because we always have fresh data, and you can use it or from contracts or from GitHub as way what you want. How much assets now? Now more than 30,000 assets in IBC Cosmos SDK networks. It's a native 12,000 and ABC near 10,000 assets, and all of these stored in the contracts and in GitHub. Our third solve problem of asset data, and this is allows you to get understood and enriched. For example, IBC assets contain data about underlying assets, and in the future we are going to the add here all DEXs in which you can trade these assets, channel metadata and chain param, all data which we can get from chain directly without any humans. This would be crucially helpful DeFi application, dashboards, channels, information boards, wallets, and other Web3 applications. This is a real Web3 API. And you won't need other. Any feedback is much appreciated. Do you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. Are you finished?
Yes.
Okay. If possible, could you give us some insight into your roadmap for the future? Because I understand all three of you have been in the grant program before, so it's good to know what you're planning, going forward. If you have any information about that.
I want to edit channels information. Also, I want to improve extracting data to GitHub because it's already improved for contracts, and I want to improve for GitHub. We have problem with API availability in Cosmos ecosystem. No, for example, when my current job working is maybe 20 chains, API is not working. I cannot get data from these chains, and this is big problem. I fix current job for extracting data to GitHub, and when we edit channels, chain params, and pools information, okay, we will be full of our services, and we go to the trustworthy of service and integrated DAO for this one.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Sergey. That was on-chain registry. Fantastic. And yeah, just so voters will know what you've got planned going forward. Robin, I think you touched on your roadmap in your presentation, but Rafe, is there anything you want to add about the roadmap for Warp CLI so people know what the funds may be used for?
Sure. So Warp CLI currently is still in a bit of an early stage. While it is working, I wouldn't say it's like entirely feature complete. I am currently focusing on adding support for new chains. And with that, also Warp is going to start receiving updates with chain-specific features as well. Currently, for example, the injective and say integrations are in progress. And with that, there will be hopefully more new chains coming. And with that, there will be a need for onboarding new people. So in this next stage, also another point of focus will be a documentation, a set of guides, and some more advanced how-tos for using, for building with Warp. And additionally, adding in more automation features and customization features for the workspaces so that it can be used throughout the CI/CD pipelines or just by developers in the way that they're familiar with tooling that they basically sometimes already integrate and want to swap out, for example, a testing framework from TS or what's it called, TS Mocha and Chai to something else, for example. This will be possible in the future, right?
Yeah, great. Awesome. Thanks, Rafe. Robin, I know you had a slide about your roadmap in your demo, but if there's anything you want to add, I'll give you a quick chance now about what's in the pipeline.
Yeah, so like I said, the Cosmosm 2.0 is like kind of top priority right now for us. And the RPC support will also enable the tool to be used in like WASM environments, for example. So you could imagine creating a wallet extension that uses a CW orchestrator to manage executing transactions and following packets, etc., within the interchain. So there's a lot of ideas floating around. But yeah, in the slide, I think the most important features that we will be working on were mentioned.
Yeah, cool. Okay, great. Well, thank you, you three, and congratulations to you and all of the 14 grantees that are part of the round 3 AEZ Quadratic grant. It's great to have you here, and we're really delighted to be supporting you guys with your innovation. And I should say one more thing to the audience: if you're also building public good projects for the Cosmos ecosystem, then you can apply now for round 4. We want to encourage as many people to get involved as possible. So applications are open now for round 4. You can submit your project and the results will be out in about 2 weeks, where we'll be announcing the grantees for round 4. So if you're building in the space, then head over to dorahacks.io/AEZ and submit your project there. And then if you want to get involved in this round, as I said before, I'll just say it again because it's some big numbers. For the quadratic funding, we've got 8,000 Atom available. So anyone can vote in that just using a Kepler wallet with some Atom in. And that's actually increasing because the donations that are made to vote for the projects are counted in the prize pool. So it's now over 8,500, I believe, when I last checked. And there's also the Macy round. They're running concurrently. So if you're an Atom staker, you're automatically whitelisted, and there's a prize pool of 31,111 USDC prize pool for the Macy round. So if you're you'll be whitelisted if you're an Atom staker on any validator. So head over to the page to choose your preferred grantees and vote for them there. This round voting is live till the 30th of August. So get involved. You've got about 10 days left if you want to be voting. And one big thank you to all of the demos that we've seen today, all the grantees that have given their demos today. And also a big thank you to Cosmos Hub, Atom Accelerator, and the Dora Factory Foundation for providing the funding pool to run these 10 grant rounds that we're running. We're really delighted to be supporting innovation in the Cosmos ecosystem with this grant program. So thanks everyone, and I look forward to seeing how the results go.
Thank you for having us, James.
Thank you.
So good. All right, thanks everyone.